Hello my loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, my name is Stef and I'm the Psychic Soul Alignment Coach. What that means is that I work with spiritual people and spiritual entrepreneurs to help them to do very deep levels of healing, also known as inner work or shadow work, in order to peel back all the layers of limiting beliefs, fears, traumas, and insecurities that they may have so that they're able to embody more of who they truly are on this deeper spiritual level. And as a result of embodying more of their divinity, they're able to then create more success in all areas of life. That is how I help people. Here on my YouTube channel, I generally teach on topics related to mindset, manifesting, spirituality, healing, spiritual entrepreneurship, spiritual activism, just whatever I am guided to do, whatever I feel called to do, to really just serve to the highest of my ability. So those are some topics there that you can expect from me. Now, if this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, then this video is different from what I normally do because this video is part of a healing workshop that I have here on my YouTube channel for you to access for free, that I invite you to take part in if that's something that really speaks to you. If you want to learn more about my healing workshop called Change Your Conditioning, you can go up here to the cards section and go watch that introductory video where you will find more information, not just on my Change Your Conditioning workshop, which will help you to powerfully start doing very deep and more effective levels of healing work, but you will also learn about another free mini healing program that I have to offer you called Unlocking Your Potential, and the links for you to sign up for those things will be at that video here in the card section that I just said, right? So definitely go check those out. Now, if you're a returning viewer and participant of the Change Your Conditioning workshop, welcome to day 4 of Change Your Conditioning. I'm super excited to be doing this last video with you, as I think this message today that I'm going to bring forward is just a really powerful way to just wrap things up, okay? Feel free to take notes as you wish, but today I was more so guided to bring forward certain messages today that my spirit guides asked me to bring forward, because I thought I was going to be teaching, but I was asked to bring forward certain messages, okay? It's really interesting because as a psychic, as an empath, a healer, what I often do is that when I connect with people's energy, when I speak to them, a lot of times it's the craziest thing, but even when people message me on Facebook, I'll pick up on their energy right away. Like if they have some kind of throat chakra issue, I'll always feel it in my throat chakra right away. Even just this past week with 2 people that I was engaging with in the messages, my throat started getting like really raspy. I don't know, it was like the weirdest thing. And then like I stopped talking to one person, my voice went back to normal. And then I went and talked to another person, and then the same situation happened. And then sometimes just when I message people, I'll feel like knots in my throat, or yeah, just like something's off, like pressure on my chest or whatever it is. Like I am literally sometimes a bit of a human voodoo doll where I just pick people's stuff up. And so the reason that I'm saying this to you right now is because I have no idea why, but as soon as I started doing this video, I felt the pH in my mouth changing. I felt that taste that comes in your mouth when you have bad breath. Now it's going away. So I think this was a message for someone. Because you may have seen the fly that flew in the other day in one of my videos as well. Messages always come through for me as I'm talking to people and as I'm teaching and things like that. So as I was starting to do this video, I felt my pH in my mouth change and my breath getting nasty. It was literally getting really, really gross, and it just disgusted me. And I notice like when that happens, okay? So before we get into today's message, hold on a second. We're going to have, tea time with Steph for a second, and let me just share my story with you. I always encourage everyone to follow their own truth and figure out what that means for them, right? And so it's my personal truth that a lot of physical symptoms that we experience, like 99.9% of them, are usually connected to some kind of emotional imbalance within oneself. There's something that needs to be healed and resolved, and when it's not being addressed, it then manifests in a physical form. The reason I say this is just because I have lived this time and time again for the last few years, especially since 2017, and I've really just been able to have firsthand experience for myself that this is truth for me, at least. Like I notice that if there's something that I need to heal and I'm not healing it, I'm not aware of it, or whatever it is, I'm not addressing it for whatever reason. Either it's something that I'm doing consciously to avoid it or unconsciously. But when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it will manifest in some kind of way to bring it to my attention. Okay? And when I do the inner work, it'll usually go away on its own. So for me personally, lots of things are signs of that. Headaches, aches and pains, stomach issues, coughs and colds and like lots of things. Almost everything, I guess. I have no idea. I don't know everything, but to me in my brain, I would currently say everything on some levels connected to something that needs to be resolved a lot of times, okay? And so when it comes to the issue of bad breath, I would definitely suggest that you look into that because there is a deeper underlying internal situation that's happening with the individual who's experiencing bad breath and why it's manifesting as bad breath. There are different books out there and like dictionaries they're like emotional dictionaries or something like that really tell you the emotional underlying cause that could be potentially creating this physical symptom. So I really encourage people to look into those things because I know as I've looked into things over the years and I'm like, oh, what could this mean and what could that mean and this and that, and I go and read on those things, then I'm like, oh, this resonates, this part of the explanation or whatever resonates, it's true for me and this and that, now I get it, right? So that's just something that you can look into because if you feel pulled to look into bad breath, then maybe there's a message there for you because it was coming up as soon as I started doing this video, and as soon as I gave the message, like it started going away. So there's something there. Today's video for this last video of the Change Your Conditioning workshop is titled The Never-Ending Journey of Healing. You can take some notes if you like, but more so than anything, this is just a message that I was asked to bring forward to wrap this workshop up, okay? So what my guides wanted me to share with everyone today who's taken this workshop, and by the way, if you made it through this workshop and you did all the previous days of healing work, then you really need to pat yourself on the back and be really proud of yourself and celebrate yourself because, it really does take a strong person to get through the inner work that I get people to do. It really does. Because what often happens is people just encounter lots of resistance along the way and they'll procrastinate, they'll end up not doing it, they'll find other things to do, they'll manifest certain inconveniences in their lives that keep them from doing the inner work, and they just don't make it. It's kind of like Navy SEAL training or something in the US, and it's like really rough, and the people that are able to get through that are like really, really strong people on so many different levels because it takes a certain kind of person to get through that kind of training. It's kind of like that when you come and work with me or when you do any of my deeper healing type of courses or programs or that kind of stuff. So if you did make it this far and you did show up and do your deeper inner healing and you did it to the best of your ability, then you should really be proud of yourself and celebrate yourself because you did amazing, right? And it says a lot about you and your readiness and willingness to grow and evolve and expand. So I'm really proud of you and I hope you're proud of yourself, okay? But the message that my guides wanted me to bring forward today is that the healing journey will never, ever have an end point, okay? Because lots of people oftentimes when they are on the spiritual healing path, they just want to heal something and just be done with it and never have to deal with it again, or like they want to get to some kind of final destination. That's what we do as humans a lot of times is we just want to arrive somewhere thinking that once we arrive there, everything's going to be unicorns and rainbows and we're good to go. Okay. Now, if you're on my channel watching this video and you've done this workshop especially, then chances are, the healing journey is definitely not going to be over for you. It's going to be a whole lifelong process type of thing, right? But the reason that the healing journey doesn't have a final destination is just because what my guides wanted me to say is that so long as you're here on earth, you will always have something to work on. You will always have something to address, okay? Because as you heal on these different and greater levels, it helps you to grow and evolve and expand both as humans as well as spiritual beings, okay? So when you have learned all that you have been able to learn in this life, okay, and have completed everything that you came here to complete, or at least you did the best that you could with completing those things, then once you've gotten to that point, that's when you return back to the spirit realm. But until then, you're still going to have healing to do. And that healing is necessary because it's part of your evolution as a human and as a spiritual being, okay? So that's why we need to learn to embrace the healing journey and recognize that it's not just about getting to this final destination and having that be over and done with. Like even if you were to heal, a lot of the childhood stuff that you have awareness around. Okay, life is no doubt going to bring things to you along the way that bring things up for you to address even more. Like, I already know, for me, I know things. That's like my psychic ability, especially the strongest one I have is like knowing things without knowing how I know. I just know. And I already know that when I have kids, it's going to be powerful healing around my childhood, but in different ways that I hadn't needed to address until my children come along, right? So I can just feel that like impending deeper levels of healing work from my childhood coming up for me with the future birth of my children, okay? They're not in existence right now. Nowhere near that, but I already know that's going to happen, right? And so maybe up until this point, I can say to myself, like, I've done all the healing I can do with my family, you know, my parents, we're good now, we're in a much better place, et cetera, that's all good to go. But like different things will bring up more things to heal and evolve from. I know that when I get into a long-term partnership, you know, with the person that I'm going to have these children with, like that's going to bring up stuff. I know that as I move forward on my journey and my purpose and, you know, my business and stuff, that's going to continue to bring up more stuff. It's stuff that I'm going to have to work through again and again to continue to move forward, right? So the healing journey will never end for any of us, okay? It's part of our evolution. We need to learn to embrace that, and we need to stop trying to put an expiration date or an end date on the healing work and stop stressing ourselves out around the whole process and journey, thinking like, oh, I'm healing this and I'm struggling and this and it's taking forever and da-da-da, like whatever's going on that's creating resistance. Like, take a deep breath and know that maybe this is part of your journey. That's what they said, is that when you really have no healing left to do and you've completed everything that you've needed to here in life, or you've gone as far as you could with your mission here, then, you know, that's when you go back to the spirit realm, right? That's when you take a break from all the healing and you chill for a little bit. So yeah, you know, until then though, it's important for you to embrace this spiritual and healing process and everything that it has to teach you, because it is going to literally make you better. And I know from my personal experience, like in the early years of this journey and process, I didn't really fully understand that. And now that it's been a few years, I have a much greater understanding of that and I value it so much more and I appreciate it so much more. And I'm sure even a few more years from now, I'll value it even more. But now I really get what they're saying, okay? And I know it's not sometimes the most pleasant thing to have told to you when you're starting out your healing journey and you're kind of still in the thick of it and dealing with all this heavy stuff and difficult things in life. But promise you, when you look back, you will see that it was all for your highest good and you will be so grateful for it. So yeah, with that said, you know, I kind of mentioned this a little bit a few moments ago, but what they also wanted me to say is that if your healing journey takes a little bit longer than some people's with maybe similar challenges, or if your healing journey has some more challenges in it than other people, right? This is how you're perceiving it. You're perceiving it as, my journey is taking so long, you know, I'm working through these things, and so over there had similar issues and they are in a much better place now, but I'm not. Or if you're feeling like, oh my God, my healing journey is taking so long, like I have all these challenges, it's just so hard, and this thing happens and this thing happens, and how come that person over there, like nothing happens to them? You know, if you catch yourself in these situations, first of all, you need to do healing work around that to let go of the judgment towards yourself and have peace with your process and where you're at it right now. And then doing inner work around comparing yourself to other people, for sure. And I say that from experience. But, you know, if this is the case for you, if you feel stressed or dissatisfied with how your healing journey, your spiritual journey is unfolding, what they wanted me to say here is that sometimes the reason that your journey is taking much longer, or that you're having more challenges than other people sometimes, is because that journey, that process for you is what is teaching you so much about what works for you and what doesn't work for you in terms of like healing techniques and processes and practices, right? Or what works for other people and what doesn't work for other people, right? And it's also teaching you perhaps the order in which things need to be done, right? In order for it to really be effective healing for you, and how it needs to work. Like, for example, as I stated, I think in the first video this workshop, how I shared how my healing journey, my spiritual journey started out with me doing affirmations and positive thinking, changing my negative thoughts to more positive ones. And that was the start of my healing journey. And that helped so much in that moment for where I was at. But as I went along my journey, I really recognized, like that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to create massive positive shifts in my life, at least, and there was more work that needed to be done. And as I did this deeper healing work, I recognized like that worked for me. And I could still do these earlier practices, but I can't try to do these earlier practices, from the very beginning and think that that's gonna just be enough. Like I have to do this deeper healing work to clear up all this stuff to then insert all of these other earlier practices like affirmations and positive thinking and things like that so that it can really take hold. Does that make sense? So sometimes your journey needs to unfold differently in order for you to see in what order it's going to be able to work for you, or it's going to work best for other people, right? And what works for you and what doesn't work, what works for other people, what doesn't work. So it's all serving as such a powerful learning experience. And that's what they wanted me to say there on that. Okay. Now, something else that they wanted me to say is that for many of you who experience lots of challenges around your healing and spiritual journey, these are really important, powerful experiences that you need to have more than likely. And the reason for that is that some people might need to experience those challenges again and again and again in order to finally commit to turning their lives around, in order to finally commit to letting things go and just surrendering, in order to finally decide to step into their power. So sometimes people need these challenges to get them to a certain point in their journey, right? To do something more easily. So sometimes that's what's needed, and that's why the challenges are there again and again, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And then sometimes the challenges that we have are meant to be experienced by us because that's probably exactly what we need to experience in order to do really important things that we're here to do in life, fulfill our purposes. So we can't necessarily avoid those challenges or not have those challenges, because without those challenges, we wouldn't be able to really show up in the world and be who we need to be to make the biggest impact that we have the potential to make in this life, right? This is something that I go heavily into in my Soul Aligned Impact program. If you want to see testimonials from that, I'll link them up here in the card section. But sometimes these challenges, even though it's difficult for you when you're walking the spiritual journey and you're just like, man, can't I catch a break? Like it seems like one thing after the other and I'm just can't breathe because we're human and this is how we feel sometimes, right? But sometimes those challenges are exactly what you need to shape you into who you need to be to do the work that you're here to do, right? And I say this, because this has been my journey, 100%. So you have no idea how many times I've shaken my fists at the universe and my guides, and it's just been a crazy journey. But at the end of the day, I really now understand, like, oh, I get it. I understand why I needed to go through that and experience that, and what it taught me, and how it's making me a better teacher and coach, and it's making me wiser and a better healer, and just so many different things, right? And so sometimes that's exactly what needs to happen. Even though those things are not comfortable, it's part of the process and we're exactly what we're supposed to be. Also, what they wanted me to say is that regardless of how your journey unfolds, whether it's a very long journey with lots of challenges and twists and turns, or, it's a short but very intense journey, or a short journey with some bumps here and there, like regardless of how your journey unfolds, because everyone here is different. We are all here to achieve different levels of soul growth. We're all here to heal different levels of karmic crap. And we all have different purposes and things like that, right? So depending on the person, okay, regardless of how your journey unfolds, there is one thing that they want to make clear. And that is that the way to more easily navigate your spiritual and healing journey, to resolve things that are happening along your journey, and to move forward with so much more ease and grace, that is only possible when you are really deeply connected to who you truly are. Okay? When you're truly connecting to your spirituality, you're really embodying your divine truth. Okay? your divine beingness. So they said it is when you have a deep understanding and knowing of your true nature, power, and truth that you can transcend the healing that's coming up to the surface of your life much more easily. Okay? And the reason that they say that is because, let me tell you, 2020 was a very powerful year for everyone. And it brought up lots of different things for people to address on many different levels. And for me personally, what it did for me is that it really caused me to rise up and step into my power around a lot of things. Because if you didn't know, in 2019, I found myself in a very toxic relationship. And by the end of that relationship, I was just, I was unrecognizable to myself as a person. Like, I was a shell of the person I once used to be. And I had to spend 2020 building myself up and stepping back into my power and doing so many things that I needed to do to feel strong and confident and believe in myself again. And as I did this along the way, and I connected more to who I truly was, I had to really put into practice my spiritual beliefs, my truth, so many different things. But as I connected more deeply with my divinity, with what I believed about God, the universe, how I'm supported, how I'm loved, how abundant I am, how divine and beautiful and successful I am, and all these different things. And as I really own that more deeply inside of myself, from this deeper spiritual place, not from this ego place where I'm trying to make myself believe these things. I'm trying to force it into my brain, and I'm trying to, make it happen. No, I really embodied it more in every cell of my being, in my heart. And I could really just show up in life from more of this solid place of beingness. As I did this more, and more things showed up along the way for me in my journey to help me step into my power, I wasn't scared anymore like I was before. I wasn't intimidated anymore like I was before. I wasn't sitting there full of fear and doubt and insecurity and all these other things. I really was able to much more easily see those things for what they truly were, and then to move beyond them. And so that is possible when you really know who you truly are. Okay, when you're really deeply connected to your divine truth and you're really embodying this on a higher level, and then you just carry this light and this personal power inside of you, this knowingness inside of you, that really helps you to look at what life is throwing your way straight in the face and just be like, you are not going to get me. I will not be shaken. And it really took a lot for me to get to that point. But that's what is possible when you really connect to who you truly are. So this is what really helps you to navigate the healing journey and your life and spiritual journey so much more easily, is being connected to who you truly are. And so with that, what I really want you to understand about the healing journey as well is that the healing journey, the spiritual healing journey, isn't just about breaking free from karmic patterns, even though that's definitely a good part of it. But it's not just about also manifesting your desires through your healing. That's something that I teach, but it's not just about that. And the healing spiritual journey is not just about being free of triggers, okay? The spiritual healing journey is about helping you to come back to who you truly are, okay? It's not about achieving these end goals of, I just want to break free from my karmic patterns. I just want to heal from this so I can manifest this thing that I want. I just want to heal from this so that I'm no longer triggered. It's not just about those things. It's about helping you to come back home to who you truly are, so that you can embody your true divinity. You can truly be the embodiment of your higher self, of your soul here on earth. That's what this spiritual healing is really all about, okay? And as you embody more of who you truly are, then that's when you're going to be able to more easily live harmoniously between the physical world and the spiritual world. Because what happens is that when you do these deeper levels of healing to really connect back to who you truly are, and you're embodying more of who you truly are, and so you're in this physical human vessel, but you're operating in this physical human vessel as your soul or your higher self, and you're seeing things through the lens, through the eyes of this spiritual version of you, as opposed to the human version of you that's, full of stuff sometimes that isn't necessarily nice or helpful, or at least it seems that way initially. What happens is that when you operate from this space, then as things show up in your life, in reality, in your country, wherever, you're going to be able to handle it from this place of being connected to your divinity, your truth. And it's not going to get the best of you. And so this then allows you to move forward on your path with so much more ease and grace, because if you thought that 2020 was a very powerful year, then I really want you to understand that there are going to be even more powerful shifts that happen in the world as we move forward. And it's going to be another thing after another after another. And this is not to scare you. This is just to inform you that there are going to be changes. And there are going to be changes that are going to bring up things for you, are going to bring up potentially uncertainty and fears and doubts and worries. And when you're not really connected to who you truly are, you stay in those states. But when you're connected to who you truly are, you're able to use those things to your advantage to propel yourself forward, to become even more empowered and take your life in the direction you want it to go in. And so that's what's going to happen as we move forward, is we're on this, ascension train. We're coming back to the truth of who we are. The energies are increasing more and more by the day. There's more light and love coming to this planet. And in order to transform the planet for the better, to create a new earth, we are being asked to align with more of who we truly are. Coming back to who you truly are, though, and embodying this, it requires healing. You have to heal and bring up to the surface all of these traumas, fears, insecurities, limiting beliefs, whatever, all of these things that are keeping you small, that are making you feel unworthy, incapable, unsupported, unloved. Like, you have to purge that out to come back to your divine truth and to embody that more easily. There's so many people in the spiritual community that believe that we are unconditional love and that we come from this, one source of unconditional love and we're all abundant and all of these good things. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we believe that. Really believing that and really embodying that is a journey. It's a process. And the journey of healing helps us to get there. Because as we go deep within ourselves and we bring out all the shadows to the light and we transmute that darkness to light, to love, to truth, that's when we're able to embody more of these truths that we believe on a conscious level. But now we integrate them more deeply because we've purged all the old stuff. So the old stuff isn't taking up space anymore. It's this new stuff, and we're able to embody these higher levels of being and states of consciousness. So this just happens when you decide to do the healing work and you do it on deeper and deeper levels to embody more of who you truly are. And as you do that, you handle whatever life throws your way, especially as we move forward with so many impending changes coming up in the world. There's going to be shifts and things, and those things are going to bring up more shadows and more things for us to release. And they're only going to really be able to knock us down and keep us down when we're not connected to who we truly are. But if we're connected to who we truly are and we're strong in that, we're going to be able to face those things like bosses and just keep it moving. Okay? That's why I really encourage you to continue with your healing journey and to continue to empower yourself, because as I said, as you heal, as you purge all of these traumas, limiting beliefs, fears, insecurities, and you don't let those things continue to take up space inside of your consciousness, inside of your energy, inside of your body, inside of your mind, inside of your heart. As you continue to do the inner work and you release these things and you remember more easily and embody more easily your divine truth, and you become stronger and stronger. When those things hit in the future, as we move forward, those changes, those situations that are going to maybe shock the world, they won't knock you off your horse, because by then you will have prepared yourself enough to handle them with much more ease and grace, because you're more connected to your divinity than your human ego, right? So I encourage you to go on this healing journey, because it's much better to deal with those things when they're showing up and you're strong in yourself and you're no longer intimidated anymore, than to have those things show up and you not be strong in yourself and you still be so deeply attached to your ego, your pains, your traumas, your fears, your stuff, and then have those things show up and then they just trigger the crap out of you and you're overwhelmed emotionally and spiritually and mentally and physically and all these things, it's so much harder to address it then. So there's this example that I was given to share with you to help make this clear to understand. Is there's this expression as, would you rather learn the hard way or the easy way, right? Would you rather learn to step into your power and align with your divine truth the hard way or the easy way? And the easy way is doing the healing and gradually becoming stronger and stronger and stronger so you can handle what life brings you, what the world is going to bring you as you move forward. And the hard way is not doing the healing work, holding on to all of these things inside of yourself. And then when they show up and they hit, all of your stuff is triggered and it knocks you down. You're still going to have to try to get yourself out of that as you're dealing with it. But you're going to have the intensity of what's happening around you to impact you and just make it more challenging for you in that moment. Okay, because we're still human beings and we're still physical. And when these things show up, they trigger us in a physical way. They trigger our biology and they make it seem much more intense and heavy and stressful and worrisome because we're literally being triggered in that way. So it's harder to think clearly and it's harder to navigate these things then because we're just being impacted so much. So don't learn the hard way if you can help it. Do your best to continue with your healing journey and prepare yourself to become more of who you truly are, to step into your power, and to embody more of your divinity so you can handle what shows up along the way for you. And one last thing that I was asked to share with you, so hopefully you're still with me by now and you don't miss this part. As I mentioned before, healing happens at different levels, and there's more superficial levels and there's deeper levels, and they all serve a purpose. They're all perfect for maybe where we are in that moment in our journey and what we need. But with that said, not all levels of healing allow for these profound levels of spiritual growth that allow you to embody more of who you truly are. Okay? That healing, no matter what level it is, even the more superficial levels, and by superficial, I just mean like the easier levels, okay? Those levels of healing still help you to develop spiritually on some level. They help you start reconnecting with your truth, being reminded of your truth. For example, with me and the affirmations and the positive thinking, that helped me to start connecting with these bits and pieces of my truth that I am a powerful creator. I can create my reality. I can create my reality from my thoughts and what I choose to focus on. And, I get to have that power to step into that. And so it helped me to remember these truths and develop spiritually in these ways, right? At that level, But as I've gone into deeper and deeper levels of healing, it's helped me to really understand that and embody that so much more powerfully than these initial practices did for me, right? So that's what deeper healing work does, is it helps you to grow spiritually in profound ways so that you're able to really embody more of who you truly are. So at some point in your journey, please just take note that you will be led into deeper forms of healing work that are going to help you to powerfully develop spiritually so that you can embody more of your divinity as you're ready to do this work and you're ready to connect to more of your divine truth, because there is such a thing as fear of success. There is such a thing as fear of your own power. There is such a thing as fear of being who you truly are. And we all have that to a certain extent. And so as you're ready to finally be more of who you truly are, you will be led into these deeper levels of healing that will help you to grow spiritually on these more profound ways so that you can embody more of your divine truth, right? But there is healing that exists at different levels. And what they wanted me to mention, just to kind of give you an idea of what those levels could look like for you. And this is not necessarily to box them in and say this is, superficial level, you got to avoid that and you don't need to be wasting your time on that. No, all of these techniques that I'm going to mention, all of these different levels, they're all valuable. They all serve a purpose. They're appropriate for where you're at in your journey. Possibly, maybe that's what you need. Even if you're advanced, maybe you need to go to some of the more, earlier levels, because maybe that's what you need, right? I don't always do healing work now. Sometimes I just stay at more of the superficial levels because that's where I need to focus my time and energy on. It's not always the deep stuff, for me, at least at this point in my journey. But some people, they really need to focus on the deep stuff for a while. It depends on every person, right? So please don't judge any of what I'm going to say as right or wrong, good or bad, whatever you might do. But I do want to emphasize that as you move forward, you will be led to forms of healing that will help you to develop spiritually on a very deep level so that you can connect back to more of who you truly are. Okay? This is a very complex topic because even the more superficial levels can still lead you back to more of who you truly are, depending on your own unique path here on earth, what you're supposed to achieve, what you're meant to understand in this lifetime, your purpose, or maybe just, it's meant to help you understand more of who you truly are on that level. That makes sense? So anyway, I hope that all made sense, but here we go, okay? So this is for level 1 healing, okay? Some examples of level 1 healing are awareness of your negative thoughts, okay? If you have awareness of your negative thoughts and then you shift them to more positive thoughts or affirmations of some kind or practicing being present, that is a form of healing, okay? And this is like a level 1 type of healing, okay? Because you're connecting back to your truth and things like that, but you're doing it with these more simple practices that still can give you profound spiritual enlightenment and spiritual growth, but maybe not at the level that deeper healing work has the potential to. Okay, I don't want to diss any of these practices. I don't want you to think that any of them are inferior or not. Okay, that's not my intention. That's not what I was here to share. But like I said, it's just going to depend on every person. But these are usually more like superficial type ways of healing. Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to share what I'm here to share and take it how it resonates. Another way of level 1 healing is, for example, awareness of mind chatter. Okay. When you're aware that you have mind chatter going on or negative mind chatter, and you decide to shift that into meditation or being silent or quieting your thoughts, your mind, that is a form of healing as well. That is a form of spiritual growth as well, but it's just usually on more superficial levels, okay? But again, it's all perfect, it's all good, it's all serving some kind of purpose in your life and helping you in certain ways that you might need in that moment. Another form of level 1 healing is having awareness of your emotions, and then what you do about that is you sit with them, you feel them, you release them. So that is another form of healing as well. And then the last one that I have here for level 1 healing is awareness of energetic imbalances that you might notice. So if you notice your energy's off, something's off, you feel certain block in certain chakras or whatever, that kind of stuff, and then you want to correct that, you want to heal that, using tools such as Reiki or other instruments or other healing modalities to correct the energy, that's a form of also healing on the more superficial level, okay? And again, these all serve a purpose. They're all good. They just are often more at the superficial level of healing and spiritual development, okay? But even if you're more advanced, you can use these things, these practices to help you to heal and to develop spiritually in profound ways. It just depends on you and the person, like where you're at, all this kind of stuff, right? So many factors. Level 2 type of healing is healing that goes deeper than these practices and techniques and stuff that I just mentioned, because it creates more self-awareness and it allows a lot of times for more powerful shifts to be made and more powerful energy to be released, okay? And so these level 2 healings are, for example, things like kinesiology, if you know what that is, theta healing, hypnosis, timeline technique is what I got, or time technique, something like that. Ayahuasca, and ayahuasca could probably be like a level 2/level 3, it depends, But these types of healing modalities that I just shared are often ways of healing that they don't just address what's going on with you on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or energetic level, but they help you to cultivate a greater understanding for yourself as a person and why this was created. So they help you to kind of go deeper into yourself than maybe the first practices might have, right? Because the first practices for the level 1 are usually practices that just kind of help you to have awareness of yourself and awareness that there's a problem and doing something to fix the problem, okay? That is kind of like what the level 1 practices of healing usually are. It's just, there's a problem, what can we do to fix that? If you have negative thoughts, shift it to positive thoughts. If you have negative mind chatter, shift it to meditation or something. If you have emotions coming up, just release the emotions. Just feel the emotions, just release them. Don't question them, don't try to figure out where they're from, just release them. If you have an energetic imbalance, shift some energy to correct that imbalance, right? So the level 1 healing is mostly a lot of times used as a form to identify a problem and to bring a solution to them. And that's where it stays. Whereas the level 2 healing is more so of, okay, there's some stuff there. Let's try to go into it to see where it's coming from, to correct that, and then move forward. And as you go in, then you're able to recognize why that's in you, what you need to do around that to release that and make peace with that. And then as you release that energy, you understand yourself better, you understand your history, your past, whatever better, and you release this energy and you get to move forward in these ways much more gracefully, right? So that is what the level 2 healing does. And then as we go down to level 3 healing involves all the previous levels, but it allows for greater soul growth. As we do level 3 healing, what level 3 healing does is it helps you to, in a certain way, achieve what the previous levels of healing did for you. So greater self-awareness, fixing problems or issues, having a greater understanding of yourself, but it also allows for you to evolve much more powerfully on this soul level, okay? And so by evolving on this greater soul level, you're then not just able to understand yourself, but you're able to much more powerfully understand others, see yourself in others, understand the collective, and be more supportive and empathetic to the collective and compassionate towards the collective. And you're able to embody more of who you truly are on this greater, deeper level. A way that I want to explain this to make it clear for those of you who might not quite yet see the difference is, for example, with kinesiology. Kinesiology, if you don't know what this is, I'm not a kinesiologist, but my understanding of it is that, you want to reprogram yourself with a belief or something, right? Or there's something going on and you want to understand what's causing it. So then the practitioner will connect with your energy and then they'll muscle test to see what is the cause behind this problem in your life or situation or symptom or whatever it is, right? And so they'll start asking questions, and then based on how they feel, the muscle or whatever reacting or responding or not, they're able to get the answers. They'll start asking yes or no questions to see how this plays out. And then based on that, the yes or no questions, they'll get to the real reason as to why this is coming up for you. So let's say that you are having problems with your business partner and you want to resolve that. You don't know what the problem is or what's going on. So you connect with a practitioner and they'll help you to uncover what your true beliefs are around being in a business partnership or whatever it is that's causing that disagreement or that misalignment with your business partner. And they'll muscle test to try to get to the real reason to then help you to bring up that belief and release it and reprogram it so that you then are more likely to manifest a more positive outcome with your business partner, or just have that not be an issue that bothers you so much anymore. And so that's what they do. So they take you through this process of understanding what the real reason is and what's going on inside of you and why you believe this, what your fears are, your insecurities, your doubts, or whatever it is. You then have a greater understanding of yourself, okay? And then you release that, you reprogram it, and you move forward and you live your life. Cool. That doesn't necessarily mean that you've evolved on a soul level or spiritually though, okay? When you evolve on this deeper soul spiritual level, you don't just understand yourself and where this issue came from, what's causing it or whatever. You're able to really connect more deeply to your spirituality. You're able to more powerfully connect with and forgive and have love and compassion and empathy for those that maybe have hurt you, have betrayed you, have wronged you in some way. You're able to open yourself up to more love. You're able to really just be a more divine being. I don't think there's any kind of way I can really explain it other than it's just something you have to experience for yourself to really understand the difference. And that's what like this deeper level of healing does for you, is it helps you to evolve in these deeper, more profound ways so that you can be the embodiment of your divinity in your life, in your day-to-day interactions with others, in how you are in the world, how you experience the world. Okay, so I really hope that that made sense and helped you in some way to understand that difference, right? But again, all of these levels are perfect for us depending on where we're at in our journeys, what we need, and they're all serving a purpose, and it's all good. It's all good. An example that I feel I need to give you to help you to better understand this is ayahuasca. Now, ayahuasca, as I said, could fluctuate between level 2, level 3, although it feels a little bit more like level 2 healing. And the reason I say that is because ayahuasca can help you to release some really deep things inside of you that you need to resolve, and help you to make peace with that, help you understand yourself, and even help you to forgive and love and accept another who may have hurt you or whatever around the thing that you're healing, and have greater love and compassion, understanding for them. And that's where you're good there. Okay. And you can do that ayahuasca session and be good and walk away and feel totally different and be at peace with that. However, in your day-to-day life experiences, as you're living your life and having certain experiences in life that are bringing up for you greater levels of healing and soul growth, ayahuasca is not going to be there to empower you around those things. Okay? Because most people are not doing ayahuasca whenever there's a problem that they have in their lives or some kind of situation. They go to certain places to do ayahuasca to address specific things that they want support around. They work through that and they move forward. As I'm saying this right now, I feel a lump in my throat. I don't know who this message is for, but I felt something in my throat, like a cold coming on. Someone here needs throat chakra healing. It's been a powerful time with the Aries energy and people's throat chakras just being out of control. So even if you do ayahuasca, I'm not dissing ayahuasca. If it's in alignment for you, good. Do you. But it's not going to necessarily empower you in your day-to-day life and experiences and being able to handle them from this place of personal power and doing what you got to do around them and not being intimidated, etc. Okay? Like, what really helps you to deal with what life is bringing you is when you do these much deeper levels of healing and spiritual development that allow for you to not just do all of these deep levels of inner work for yourself and to forgive others and your relationships with others and relationships with other things in your life, but that really help you to embody more of the consciousness, the way of being, the mentality of the version of you that knows their truth and isn't phased or thrown around by whatever life could bring. These are the very deep levels of healing that we're all being guided to at this time on some level, especially if you're watching this video. So that is what I wanted to clear up there. I really hope that that was clear and it made sense for you. So to wrap this up, every level makes a difference, okay? It's all valuable and essential part to our growth, to our empowerment, to our spiritual and personal development. And if you have a good enough connection with your intuition, you will know when it's time to move on to deeper levels of healing work to help you to grow and evolve and continue to ascend along in your journey, okay? So I really hope that that has tremendously helped you and was clear for you and that you got so much out of this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. Let me know in the comments below what you got out of this message today, what really impacted you, breakthrough, insight, questions you may have, anything. I would love to hear from you to see how I can best support you in the comments below. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button, change your notification settings to all so that you never miss out on a video from me. And to just finalize this video today, if you feel like you're ready to do these very deep levels of healing, to embody more of who you truly are, to serve humanity in a greater way by embodying your divinity, and to empower yourself around what could be happening in your life and what could potentially happen as you move forward along your path, your journey, so that you actually feel strong and capable and certain of yourself to handle those things and turn things around to your benefit and really just more powerfully create the life that you desire and dream of, then I invite you to come and join me in my Remembering Who You Are program. That is my 12-module program in which I guide you over these 12 modules to really understand what it really takes to embody more of who you truly are in your day-to-day, like what it really means to be the embodiment of your higher self, of your soul, as you move throughout life, and how to take your power back from lots of relationships or circumstances or things that have been making you feel powerless, hopeless. It also helps you to really more powerfully connect with your true self, because as we covered in the day one video for this workshop, lots of people don't really know who they are because they're just buried beneath so many layers of traumas, insecurities, limiting beliefs, patterns, behaviors, just things that, you know, they're being someone that they're not. And what remembering who you are does is it helps people to start releasing that and to get comfortable with that and feel safe in that and trust in that and allow that process to unfold rather than continue to hold back because they're in a safe container where they're accepted just as they are. Because what often happens as people come into more of who they truly are, it will often cause rifts in certain relationships and dynamics. I know when I started setting boundaries, for example, with my family, I got a lot of kickback, I think is the word, from them initially, because I was trying to step into more of who I truly was, which was this version of myself that loves and respects herself enough to set these boundaries. And then they weren't having it. And I had to be strong inside of myself to really stand up and be like, no, like, I will not accept this, you know, not from a place of anger or fear or frustration or whatever, but just peace and saying, this is not going to continue. And, you know, for some people, it's hard for them to do that on their own. And the community, the group, provides you the space to really know that you're not doing this alone. You're supported. We're here to help you through all of that as you go through this powerful transformational time in your life, because that's what the healing does, is it really radically helps you to transform into a completely different person by the end of it. By the end of it, you're completely changed as a person because you're more connected to your divine truth. And, you know, the purpose of that program is to help you, to support you with doing this deep healing, to release karmic patterns and struggles that you've found yourself on again and again and again. And, you know, for you to really be assisted in seeing, like, what is it that you really need to heal around this? What do you really need to focus on? What do you need to change in order to break free from this cycle and move forward with your life and move in the direction that you desire to go in, right? Instead of reliving the past again and again. So that is the purpose of remembering who you are. It's very powerful. As I said, it's 12 weeks long, but I'm going to be holding this over the course of 4 months because I'm going to be taking breaks every 3 weeks. So I'm going to be doing 3 weeks consecutively, and then the last week I'm just going to take a break from teaching for myself to replenish my energy. So it's going to be done over 4 months, and it's a very intense, deep healing program as it is. So promise me when I tell you that that break is going to be much appreciated by everyone. So yeah, if you feel called to be a part of this program, I would really love to support you, to guide you along your journey, to be there for you, to help you rebuild yourself into someone even more amazing than who you currently are, because it is a bit of a process and it helps so much to have support and encouragement and understanding and guidance when you're going through that whole process, right? So that's what we do there. I help you to also more powerfully connect to your intuition, your inner guidance, because I'm not here to have people depend on me and ask me constantly for the answers. I teach my clients how to find the answers for themselves and how to know what's right and true for them. And that's, you know, the purpose of remembering who you are. It just does so much for people. And it's just absolutely transformational. So if this is something that speaks to you, I encourage you to sign up to join me. We will be starting the program, kicking the program off on April 1st, which I believe is a Thursday. And if you sign up before then you get 2 additional coaching calls with me, because I will be offering 1 coaching call a month to those of you who sign up. But if you decide to sign up before April 1st, then you get 2 additional calls, which is an $800 value. And that means that, you know, you get these 2 extra calls with me to help support you one-on-one, okay? So that is what we're going to be doing. The module lessons are usually about an hour and a half long. I do Q&A as well once a week during the module lesson teachings. And so there's just so much information that I share with you, so much wisdom and knowledge and experience and things that I've learned along my journey that can help you to more powerfully embody more of who you truly are. So I would definitely suggest that you go and check out those testimonials here in the card section on remembering who you are for my past clients. You can also check out Angela's testimonial on Soul Aligned Impact She did this other program of mine, but she did Remembering Who You Are as well. And she talks a little bit about that in the Soul Aligned Impact interview. So you can check her out as well, because it's just absolutely transformational work. And honestly, like, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for Remembering Who You Are. Like, those teachings, I have lived them year after year after year since I started this journey. And they've only continued to make me stronger and more connected to my truth, and just more of, this divine being that I'm embodying as I move forward. So if that speaks to you, I would really love to have you sign up. If you want more information on Remembering Who You Are, please reach out to me via social media or email. If you've signed up for this workshop, you can just reply back to your email and then write me. And then I'll give you more info on that and just see if it's a good fit for you at this time. And other than that, I look forward to working with you if this is the next step for you. And I really hope that you got so much out of this workshop. Let me know how this workshop went for you in the comments below, as I love hearing your thoughts and your feedback on how my work has helped you. And I love sharing it out with other people as well, so that they know like how powerful this work is and that it's available for them as well to access for free. So thank you so much for your time. I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.